Hi, I am Ben Alexander, and I have autism. Today, I want to talk to you about how we should be advocating for people on the spectrum. And as someone with autism, this is near and dear to my heart, and I really hope that we can listen to other people's experiences with autism. And I think that's where it starts, is just listening to each other and really working with each other, that we can help whatever you can or whatever we can to listen to others and figure out the problem at hand. And if we do that, I believe that is the best way to advocate. Is a lot of the times I want action. I really all I care about is action. I don't care what you did in your past or all that stuff, because we all make mistakes. I just want solutions that help us to a better future. That's all I care about. And like I said, I've shared a bunch about autism and all that stuff, and that's in my autism education section playlist. So I have that on YouTube. So if you go through my channel, there will be an autism education if you'd like to learn more about some of the videos I've done. Like I've done driving, what's it like to drive with autism, going to school with autism, all that stuff. So if you find that helpful, please go check the playlist out, and I really do appreciate that. Another thing that is key is talking to the source of the problem, whether it's a school principal, a speech therapist, friend, family, or a manager/boss at work. And finding people who can fix the problem is very crucial. And I believe writing letters to your Congress representatives will help you as well. And they could advocate for law changes and vote on law changes. And if you're making a social media post about why this law needs to be written or removed for the sake of making people with autism's lives easier, I would definitely say tag the politician and even the president of the United States, or the president of your country, or the politicians of your country if you're watching this worldwide, because I believe that we can try to advocate and at least get the leaders to know about these issues. And if the leaders know about these issues, hopefully they'll do something about it. Not going to guarantee anything, but at least they know about the issue and they know how this can affect people, and their decisions have consequences, and their decisions are very impactful, and if we let them know that, hopefully they'll take it seriously and they will make the changes necessary to make autistic people's lives easier. And I even found something on Google about advocating for people on the spectrum. So here's what I found. To advocate for people on the autism spectrum, you can educate yourself about autism, communicate clearly and assertively with relevant institutions, speak up for their needs, support policies that promote inclusion, participate in advocacy groups, and raise awareness about the unique challenges and strengths of individuals on the spectrum, and always prioritizing the individual's perspective and respecting their agency when advocating on their behalf. And here's some key points to remember. Understand autism. Learn about the different aspects of the autism spectrum, including the varied communication styles, sensory sensitivities, and strengths individuals may have. Listen to autistic individuals, prioritize their voice and perspectives when advocating for their needs. Be informed about rights and policies. Familiarize yourself with relevant legislation and policies regarding education, employment, and health care for people with autism. Communicate effectively. Speak clearly, use plain language, and be assertive when communicating with schools, healthcare providers, or policymakers. Advocate for accommodations. Identify and request necessary accommodations to support an individual's needs in different environments like school or the workplace. Promote neurodiversity. Educate others about the spectrum as a natural variation of human experience, highlighting the strengths and abilities of autistic individuals. Ways to advocate. Join advocacy organizations. Participate in local or national autism advocacy groups to collaborate with others and amplify your voice. Contact policymakers. Reach out to elected officials to support legislation that benefits people with autism. Share personal stories. Share your own experiences or stories of people with autism to raise awareness and build empathy. Volunteer in the community. Offer support to local autism organizations by volunteering your time or skills. Educate others. Talk to friends, family, and colleagues about autism to dispel myths and promote understanding. Support self-advocacy. Empower autistic individuals to speak up for themselves and advocate for their own needs. And yeah, I do think that this is all great advice. Like, things that I never thought about was healthcare of autism being a problem, but honestly, from my experience with autism, I 100% know where they're coming from. Since autism people struggle with communication, and that's me included as well, they might not get the best care that they could possibly get because communication isn't necessarily the strong suit. And we communicate a different way, and sometimes things get confusing, and especially for me, I'm terrible at science. Like, I would say I was pretty good at English, history, but I was in business classes, computer classes, those type of things in school, media classes at college because I graduated college, Mount Vernon Nazarene a couple years ago with a media degree. I was pretty good at those classes as well. And, those type of things where it's like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I'm not very good at science, and that's kind of why I struggle with doctors, is because sometimes they use all these big science terms. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, and that could definitely trip up other people on the spectrum as well, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm sure there are people on the spectrum that are very good at science. I'm just not one of them. I'm not good at science whatsoever. But yeah, like I said earlier, 100% agree with the advice here, and having a YouTube channel like mine that really educates people about autism is definitely a great way to advocate for people on the spectrum. Even making this video about advocating for people on the spectrum, lots of people are going to see this video. I understand that. And, that's very important to advocating for people on the spectrum, is to kind of showcase what people on the spectrum can do. And, sometimes the internet isn't the most helpful at that because they'll twist autistic people into a category that should never be people with autism should never be in a category with. They'll paint people with autism in a negative light. And again, I believe to advocate for autism, you need to paint people in autism with a positive light, and that's what I'm here doing. I'm trying to paint myself with a positive light so others with autism can feel included, and that's really my goal here. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I'll ask you a couple questions. So how do you advocate for people on the spectrum? What other tips do you have? And just think about those questions, and I truly appreciate your willingness to watch my video all the way to the end, and I really hope to see you in my next video.